Good afternoon, friends. I'm Nancy Thompson with Create with Nancy, and it's time for some creative ink. It's time for us to get creative, time for you to feel inspired, and time for you to share all these wonderful creations with others. And I forgot to adjust my camera today, so sorry about that. So I'm Nancy Thompson, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Skaneateles, New York, and I welcome you to my craft studio. So if you're new to joining me, come on in and say hello. Let me know where you're from so I can welcome you. And we are going to do a card sketch today. It's a remake of one that we just did recently, but it is using the new Eyelet Blooms Die. It's the April product of the month. And when I looked yesterday or a couple days ago, it was still available, okay, as an option for you to choose. With a $75 order, you can choose, add it to your cart for $5 plus tax and shipping, and it's a great way to get some inexpensive, fun things to use. And I don't have the May product of the month yet, but there is so many great things, so you want to get them while supplies last. They're all while supplies last. They will not come back into stock, so if you see it, you want to grab it. So, okay, let's get started here. Let's go to my desktop and let's talk about card sketch. So we talked about today is based on a card sketch right here. I'm trying to think, you know, I didn't write down when I think I've added this to my last newsletter, okay? If not, then it's coming up. So we're using card sketch number 70, and it's a simple and easy sketch. It's just 2 layers on the card base plus a focal point for your greeting, okay? This one we created on this card. We did a while ago on episode 459. And with the PDFs, you can use the QR code and go back and watch the video to help refresh your memory as well. And so I include these in my newsletter. All right. Not every single item that I do does have a newsletter. Sometimes the fun folds are just a little bit too complicated to write up, or I just don't have time. But I try to do Wednesday's card sketch as a PDF. Okay. It's my gift to you. So you can catch these in the newsletter. I don't have them listed on my website yet, so in the future, it's on my to-do list, okay? All right, so card sketch of the month. And speaking of that, I have created a card sketch journal. If you haven't seen this before, it's a great way for you to keep track of. I use this to help design my card sketches. So it's a great way for you also as you're watching other demonstrators or other creators, okay, to create your own sketches so you have a place to keep them, okay? So it's a great way to be organized and have everything in one place. Okay, so you can find this on Amazon. Just search for Card Sketch Journal for paper crafters. I try to go back and put a link in my YouTube description as well. But you can definitely go to Amazon and do this title, and this journal will pop right up for you to order. It's $11.99, and it's the best investment you can give yourself. So, hi, Kathy. Welcome. Okay, so today I did this with my club, and so I'm glad I'm doing this today. It forced me to play with it some more because we had a few difficulties with it. This is the Eyelet Blooms Die. So it made me go and play with it some more and work out some kinks for it, okay? This is the product, the April product of the month, and you're gonna love it. After you see some of the tips that I give you today for this. We're also I'm using the 2 leaves from this Opulent Oasis die set, okay? And this has an impressions die in it, so this is really cool. I haven't played too much with this yet, but we're gonna use the impressions plate that we need to use with this die today. And I'm also using this word set today. We're gonna use the word celebrate. And we're talking in colors also today. So there's 5 new ink colors that got released on May 5th, and they are absolutely fabulous. As you can see, these are the new magnetic ink pads that are going to be coming out that are available in this year's ink pad or in colors, the 26 to 28 ink colors. And next year when Stampin' Up does a color refresh, all the colors will be this style ink pad, okay? And they are fabulous. They stack together. They open up so easy as well. They're just fabulous. They snap together like that, so if you want to keep it together, you can see the color, and they close so easy. You're gonna love these new pads, okay? So speaking of these new pads, you customers can take advantage of our starter kit. And do I have a little, did I print off a sheet? I don't think I did. Where the starter kit is on special this month. So you can get all 5 ink colors for free in your kit when you take advantage of the kit for $99 plus shipping or sales tax only. And you can choose $125 in additional product and grab these new ink colors, okay? But I will say that Stampin' Up had a little issue with having their supply of ink pads, the availability. So if there's a color not available, they will still ship it in your starter kit at some point, as soon as they become available. So you will be getting them. So they might not all be there at the same time, okay? But they will be coming. So if you want more information about joining as a demonstrator, I would be happy. Just reach out to me and we can chat some more about it, okay? Okay, product of the month. Let's go back to product of the month. This is the May product of the month. It's Berry Botanical Vellum. There's 4 designs, and you're going to get 3 each of the 4 designs. And it is, from what I've seen online, it's absolutely gorgeous. And as soon as I can't wait to place an order. I've been too busy to order anything or make a good decision about ordering. So so check that out, and that is while supplies last as well, okay? And of course, if you don't have a demonstrator and you need a catalog, feel free to reach out to me, okay? So I can get a catalog to you. Okay, let's look at, we're gonna use the Hydrangea Hue color today. Okay, I'm gonna put those aside. We're gonna start with these 2 pieces. These are 3 3/4 by 5 inches, and we're going to use our die with this. And the other thing that really makes this die work so much better is wax paper, okay? Because it's so intricate, the cardstock really sucks right down to it, and it's almost impossible to pry it off, I think. Okay, so we've got my wax paper down, and then we've got cardstock on top, okay? So let me pull in the cut and emboss machine, and I did not share this with my club because I hadn't really learned about it yet, okay? We're gonna emboss with this template. Could you imagine that? We're gonna create an embossed image using this template, and that is really cool. So we're gonna use plate 1, plate number 2, and then this is what we've got to help us emboss this die. This is the new impression plate. It's this thick, kind of rubbery substance, and this is what we're going to use, okay? And I am going to, I think it works better if your die is facing up, okay? And one of the things, when you get this plate, it comes with this insert. I'm really highly recommending you keep this so you can see how to use these impression dies, okay? It tells you how to cut and then how to emboss these other dies, all right? So it gives you all the layering, that sandwiching that you need to do to create everything. Okay, so we've got plate 1 and 2, our die, wax paper, then cardstock. And now we're gonna just simply put this over, and it doesn't seem to cut into the die. And then we're gonna use plate number 4, okay? And that's our sandwich. I think I've got this all right, yep. And you can see this silicone, this rubbery matte plate is kind of squishing out, okay? And that's what creates that embossed image. It just kind of smushes it all right into the die, your cardstock, without cutting into it, okay? All right, so let's look at the magic here. Let's peel our layers away. And okay, we're done with these because we're also going to do some cutting, okay? We'll just kind of set this off to the side. Now look, see this? So one thing about this, by using the wax paper, it really makes pulling that cardstock off. When we weren't using, I didn't have wax paper at our club yesterday, and it was a bear to get it off. So, as Kathy can attune. And look at the magic here. Look at that gorgeous impression right there, the embossed impression. Look at that. I love this. And you might find that you get a couple, I need to grab a pick tool here somewhere. You might find like there's a couple pieces of wax paper on here. I'm just gonna, you know, flick them off. It didn't cut the paper, but it did kind of, the cardstock anyways. But it did cut some of the wax paper. So let's just get rid of those. Okay. So we're going to use this on one card, okay? So let's go ahead and we're going to die cut with this, okay? And we're kind of doing the same type of thing. So let's pull this in. So I still use my magnetic pad. So it would be plate 1. I don't use this too often. Plate 1, plate 2, a clear pad, and we're going to do our die. And I kind of would recommend also putting the die in at an angle. I think it helps with your impression as well. I mean, look at this wax paper. It's kind of got that impression right there. I wish we had glossy paper. I wonder if it would leave like a design on it. Let's grab another piece of wax paper. If you don't have wax paper in your craft area, you should grab some because wax paper comes in handy. I love using it a lot for with dies. Okay, I didn't center that other one too well. Okay, we've got that down, and I find that when you have the die facing up, the cutting edge facing up, it seems to do a better job. Actually, I want to switch my plates around. So my top plate's on the bottom this time, and my cutting plate's on top. All right. There we go. So let's, and I find if you run this through like 3 times, it really makes it so much easier. So we're going to go through 3 times, okay? There's 2, and then here's 3. Okay. Well, let's get rid of our machine. We are done. Now, and I couldn't find my brush that goes at the end of my take your pick tool. So if you have one of those, but I do have an older one, this older die brush, okay? A die brush really helps you, really is great for this. Normally, you would flip it to the back, which you can. This will help pop out all those intricate pieces, and I think when you run it through 3 times, it really makes it, makes them really pop out so much easier, okay? So just kind of go over it a couple different ways. Let those bristles get down into those, because there's so many tiny little holes in here. Look at all that fun stuff. And then I'm not afraid to go over top of this cardstock too. This really helps as well. I think just going like this, it pops those, just seems to kind of pop out the majority. Look at that. I think it, like, you can kind of see everything that's there. I'm just kind of scanning to see, is there another place I should really focus on? This corner. But I'm okay if I have to pop out a few. And then look at this. It just, the wax paper just makes this pull right off. Oh my gosh. I wish we had this at our club meeting yesterday. It would have made things go so much quicker. Okay, and I just keep that foam mat in a case, and so on. Okay, let's pull this off. Oops, there we go. We'll pull that off. And look at that. It looks fabulous. There's just maybe a couple to pop out. Yeah, I think that did a great job. Yeah, there's just a few here to pop out. So just take your time and look it over, because it's got the wax paper on the cardstock. That looks great. Okay, and that's so cool. So I think you're gonna love, club members especially, are gonna love using this die. So, and don't forget, it's while supplies last. So let's make our card now. And don't forget to keep your insert with that impression plate, okay? All right, we are gonna start. This is our hydrangea hue cardstock. It's so pretty. These are gonna really be created the same way. So let's compare these two. Look at those, the embossed and the die cut. So you can get a totally different look here. I know, Kathy, isn't it? It is such a difference. And that was so easy too. Oh my goodness. Oh, I see a few more things. You got to look at this a couple of times, because I still feel there's so many little tiny holes, but that was so simple. 3 times through the machine is what you want to do, I think. I think it comes out so much better. Okay, so this is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. So our mat is going to be 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And I'm just adding some glue. I'm trying to stay away from the holes. All right, let's get some on these corners. Here we go. Okay, so we're gonna glue that there. Hopefully I cut this right. It looks a little short. Oh well, we are gonna go with this because I got glue all over it. Let me see how this is. All right, that one's better. I don't know what I did there. I must have not had it in my trimmer correctly. Okay, and look at the back side of this before I do that. It's more subtle, and then there's that side right there. So, I mean, even that isn't bad. I bet you some good, cool blending techniques might be kind of fun with this. You know, some blending ink and stuff. Okay, let's adhere these. And, you know, use lots of ink because I feel like this is raising up here. Okay, so we are going to adhere this down with some dimensionals. Got a bunch of pieces here that I'm trying to use up. So let's see. Let's use up these edges. So I think this one, this color here is my favorite, the hydrangea hue. So it's really cool. So on Friday, I will be back on Friday with another live, and we are gonna do a fun fold. And it's really cool. I did it with my team as a mystery card, and they enjoyed it a lot, and they were really creative. Everybody for our team meeting, they each brought or had their supplies ready, and we were doing a Zoom that day. And normally we do in person, but we were doing a Zoom because it was so close to Mother's Day. And let's see, where was I going with this? So it was really cool to see so many different creative ideas, because they all had a different set of paper for their card. So that was really cool. So I did the same size. The black is the same size as on the front, 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And the cardstock, basic white, is 3 1/4 by 5 inches. And I just added a half strip of designer paper in that. This paper is from our in colors, the ink 26 to 28 in colors, and it comes 12 by 12 this year. So I'm liking the 12 by 12 because there's so many different, you know, there's just so many more possibilities with it. Okay, so let's add this here. This is a great monochromatic card. Okay, so we have some leaves here. So let's grab some leaves that I die cut from the Opulent Oasis dies. I've got quite a few here. Okay, we got 2 each. There's a big one and a little one here. So let's go and add these to our card here. And then, oh gracious. Oh, there we go. I forgot to grab the ribbon. We're going to use some of the new in color ribbon as well. So I've made several of these. So I want to make sure my leaves are up high enough so I have some room for my label here at the end. Okay. So let's add this other leaf. Here we go. We just kind of offset it. Let's do the same to this card. Just wish I'd gotten a bigger leaf for this one, because I like the contrast of the black popping out through the holes, which is kind of neat. Okay, let's do this. Well, we had rain this morning here, and the sun is popping out finally. And tomorrow's Crafters Tea here. Yeah, so tomorrow we have a house full with the Crafters Tea. So we need this and this. Let's grab another. This is a die from the Stylish Shapes. Whenever I die cutting, I just throw, if there's room on the platform, I add some scraps of paper and keep die cutting my labels. So I always have a ton of labels on hand. I love having labels on hand. Okay, let's take our hydrangea hue. All right, and we're going to use the word let's celebrate. Now I'm finding, you know, you want to practice with these new felt pads, okay? They do stamp a little bit different with the photopolymer. So practice on some scrap cardstock, okay? You want to make sure it's kind of juicy. Oh, I stamped that on the wrong side. Hey, we're going to do that again. There is a right side and a wrong side to these die cut labels. There we go. That's better. And you might want to wash your stamps too sometimes in the photopolymer if you're not getting a good image. Okay, so we've got our greeting stamped. So let's, and also as a reminder, you can order any of these supplies in my online store. So we're going to grab some tear tape. I love, because we're going to zigzag some ribbon, okay? So let's grab, where's the end? Here we go. So tear tape is great for doing this. I'm going to just put some tape on the back side of these greetings. Okay, there we go. And I just leave, this is the new hydrangea hue bordered ribbon, and it's fabulous. It ties fabulous. It feels good. So we're going to just remove our tear tape backing. I'm going to have this to the front, and I'm going to just leave myself a tail. See how it's kind of angled? And then I'm going to bring it down, make just a small loop. For this card, I think just a small loop is good. And just kind of create that zigzag look, okay? And then trim it off. So there's really no waste, pretty much. Might just, which way do I want? I think I want to angle it this way. Shorten this just a hair, okay? Look at that. It's fabulous. It's a great way to zigzag your ribbon. Okay, we're gonna flip it over, and I'm gonna take another piece of tear tape here and just put it over top. I wanna make sure this ribbon stays in place, all right? And then when it comes for the dimensionals, you wanna try to grab some cardstock, just because sometimes the backing of that tear tape is kind of slippery. So try to get your dimensionals somewhere else on the label, okay? Okay, and this one is ready to go on our card front. So let's pop this onto here. And there we go. It's just a great monochromatic card, okay? Okay, let's repeat for this. Pull off our backing, and let's unroll this a little bit. Just kind of put this at a little bit of an angle, do a little loop, kind of move it down so it's at a different angle, and then do another loop up. So easy. This would always take me forever. We do it on the card front, and one thing about using tear tape, you can lift it and put it back down and it should still kind of stay in place, okay? All right, press that down and let's finish off this card. There's that. Okay, we got rid of another edging here. Let's grab one of these. Here we go. And let's put it on this card. Wait till you see all this card in all the other colors, because they are beautiful. So Kathy, did I change your mind about the product of the month? Okay, that's crooked. Let's just lift that just a hair. There we go. Okay, let's clean off this desk, and we're gonna add some bling to it. So let's grab a little bit of bling here. Let's see. Let's grab my take your pick tool. Gotta put some new putty on this. So with take your pick tool, you just give it a little bit of a twist. Sometimes if it's not twisting well, I just kind of untwist it and twist it again, and it's just popping out. You don't want it to pop out too much, and it will grab. Sometimes you just need the new putty. Okay, let's put a large one there, and then we'll use a medium one and then a tiny one just to grab some bling there. Okay, all right, another large one here. Let's put this on. We'll just repeat. Simple card, right? There we go. All right, let's move this out of the way. Move this, rid of this. Almost dropped my... Okay, put your top on the glue so it doesn't dry out. Okay, here's our fabulous card. So there's the hydrangea hue. Okay, so let's get rid of that, and then let's look at, you know, I didn't finish this one. This is the Golden Glow with the embossed one. I'll just kind of put that there. Here's the, okay, so this was like before I did the wax paper, okay? So if you wanted to kind of like have this sporadic look and not be totally cut out, so this is kind of like if you don't pop out all the circles and whatever, you could just be more sporadic about it. So that's the Golden Glow, and look at that one. And then here we have the Peaceful Pines. I love this green. It is fabulous. And then here it is with the embossed. Also, so I think with this one, I really needed to have a bigger foliage to take up more of that space. Let's see, here's the Barely, yes, what is it called? Barely Blush, right there. The ink is a little light, I think. I wish it was just a little bit darker. Okay, and there's the embossed one. And then we have crisp cantaloupe. I like this color as well. I mean, the blush, the cardstock for the blush is just, I think, gorgeous. And then here's the crisp cantaloupe with it die cut. So let me know in the comments what your favorite color is, or do you like the embossed look, or do you like the die cut look? Were you did you learn anything, some tips on how to use this so it cuts better? And if you did and you had success, I would love to hear back from you. So let me know. All right. Okay, that's it for today. So come back on Friday. All right. We are doing a fun fold. So, okay, and you're going to love it. Super easy. I did it with my club and they hemmed and hawed a little bit, but I will walk you through it with some tips and the scoring. Once you have it scored right, it's so easy. Once you create the base for this card, you're going to love it. So, okay, enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for joining me. And don't forget to give some thumbs up, hearts, and better yet, share this video with others.